this was something I've been meaning to get to because
bring it.
in a lot of queer relationships from the
Uh-huh.
outside, we are in an open relationship.
Correct.
And that means we are what does that mean?
Polysexual?
Polysexual. And people think that that means that we're just out having sex with other people all the time, and we're and that's absolutely true. No,
sometimes.
What it's a really hard thing to describe to, well, I guess it's not that hard to describe. Here's the thing. I'm going to say my version of it, and then you can
okay, sure.
Jamie and I were monogamous for 14 years. We've been together nearly 20. So for 14 years of that, I didn't have sex with anybody else but you.
Yeah.
Having said that, you're the first person, and the reason we did is because you were the first person I ever met who was just as sexual as me.
Mm-hmm.
And I really like having sex with you.
Oh, me too.
Did you see how I put that in the present tense?
Oh, I burped. Sorry. Yes, I like having sex with you too, and me.
Physically, you're my type. You're tall. You're thin. You're
you
muscular.
check my boxes.
You got those big old feet, and everything's fun.
Mm-hmm.
So for 14 years, we were really, really great and are great. And then we kind of decided maybe it's time to open things up. And when we did that, it meant a lot of negotiation. Right?
Yes.
There were rules in place. So for me, the short version, long story long, is that we are open, and that being physically sexual with somebody else is not a deal breaker in our relationship.
No.
Given that we've raised a child, we've bought a house, we are married, we like when I hear that people are breaking up because somebody slept with somebody else, I'm kind of like, is that it?
Well, that's their agreement.
Right.
You know, everyone has their own agreement. Our agreement changed. And
what do you think changed it?
I think well, maybe both of us, but you for sure were just being presented with a lot of opportunities to have sex. You were going on a million gay cruises. People were asking. Yeah, don't you remember?
I don't see it that way.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So I felt so secure in our relationship after 14 years.
Okay.
It was not for a lack of anything. For me, it was coming...
I have to pee. 1 second. Okay, pause, everybody. Pausing.
I'm not moving.
You can even see me go to the bathroom.
I'm pausing.
That was an interesting place for him to decide he had to go to the bathroom.
I know. I'm like, we're about to go to some meat now.
I was like on the edge of my seat, and then he's like, oh, I gotta pee. How are you feeling, Jamie? Are you okay?
Great. How's it coming across?
Yeah, no, it's great. It's great. I just want to check your comfort level. You seem completely fine and good.
Great. Good.
Okay.
Good.
All right, good.
Yeah, I don't talk about this outside of my therapy, so this is great. This feels really good. A good place to do it.
All right, good. I'm glad.
Yeah.
Jackson, all okay on your end in terms of sound? Any adjustments that need to be made, or it's good?
No, all's good. Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay, great. All right, here he comes. All right.
So you were saying I was being presented with a lot of opportunities.
Yes, you were going on all these Atlantis gay cruises. You were traveling to so many cities. I mean, you were on the road for a while there during this time, about 14 years into our relationship.
Okay.
A lot, like maybe a quarter of the year you were not home.
And you said that you felt very secure in our relationship.
I felt really secure, and I thought, wouldn't it be kind of fun if I let Alec, because I was thinking more about you, honestly. Wouldn't it be fun if when Alec goes out of town, he doesn't feel like he can't do something if he wants to? Because I feel secure, and I feel like this is just an and, not an or.
So you say that a lot. It's an and not an or.
Yeah, that's just the way my brain works.
Okay.
But so we talked about it, and the most important thing in our open relationship, I guess it's going on 6 years.
6 years? Oh my God.
It's hard. It's hard to navigate. It's not easy, but the number one thing is communication. We have rules for every step of the way. So it's so annoying, but every time he goes out of town, for him and me, because I may be presented with something when he's out of town, is remember our rules. And they change. So during one trip, it's this. And during another trip, it's this. But we have to constantly communicate those rules, because there was a time when you kind of slipped on two of the rules, and it really made me feel uncomfortable.
What were the rules I slipped on?
It was about not having sex with someone twice. This is
Nuh-uh.
early on. Yeah.
Who did I have sex with twice?
And I don't remember. And then there was another one I don't exactly remember. I'm not saying.
Listen, I think this is an inaccurate memory, and I just have to step in and defend myself because I can't remember that.
Fake news.
No, the number one rule for us on both of this is that we have to discuss it, which is the most unsexy thing you could ever possibly imagine.
Exactly.
Because the only thing that makes sleeping with somebody else when you're married is the sneaking around.
Yeah.
So it's really like a real boner killer.
Yeah.
To have to kind of go, all right, this is what happened. But what it does is it actually lessens the desire for me, knowing that I can. And here's the thing, like when I would go on a cruise, I literally, like the very first time we opened up our relationship, 14 years ago, I was like, it was 6 years ago, so I'm 50, and I'm like, I'm overweight. I don't feel good about the way I look. Nobody's gonna want to have sex with me, so I'm totally cool with this arrangement. And then I learned that gay men have absolutely no standards whatsoever. No, I did. All of a sudden, and my agreement with myself is I'm not going to do anything unless it happens in an easy manner.
Right.
And so since then, I've had other experiences, but what it's done is it's made me, in hindsight, I'm looking back and I was going, that was really about ego. That was about validation.
Yeah.
That was kind of like the old kind of sex and love addiction thing you were talking about, that like seeking validation outside of yourself.
Yes.
It wasn't necessary. I was like, that didn't need to happen. That happened because I was feeling such and such a way.